Godzilla has been around for 70 years, and he is still the fucking king. Really, the only monster, or kaiju as we call them now, really, to predate Godzilla is King Kong by like 20-something years. It was 1933, so it's like 21 years. That's it. But Godzilla has been on the screen, whether it be movies, television, whatever, constantly since his debut 70 years ago. King Kong has not. Again, that's why Godzilla's the king. But anyway, Godzilla Minus One is Toho's, the creator of Godzilla, the latest offering of the monster. And holy shit, man, it's a fucking masterpiece. It's another reboot, like Shin Godzilla, which did not get a sequel, unfortunately. Shin Godzilla was great. But they couldn't make a sequel because I guess they have some kind of agreement with Legendary, who owns the U.S. rights to Godzilla, you know, their franchise, the MonsterVerse, and their agreement, they can't release a Godzilla movie the same year as Legendary. And they didn't want to wait that long to do a sequel, so they decided to just pick it up again and reboot the whole thing. But honestly, it's the best decision they could have made, because this movie is Godzilla. It takes place just a few years after World War II. Japan is still rebuilding after the war, and all of a sudden here's this giant fucking lizard, and it's like, well, Japan, you're going to be rebuilding again. It's not just that, it does take like the U.S.'s relationship with Japan into account after the war, and how they don't want to get involved because of the rising tensions with Russia, which that's the never-ending battle right there. But you know, they didn't want to get involved, because if they did, they felt like Russia would have been like, oh, you're close to our waters, we're going to attack. So it's like, Japan, you deal with this shit, it's your problem. But much like Shin Godzilla, we do get a little bit of, I don't want to say baby Godzilla, because you know, he's still fucking huge, but we see a smaller Godzilla in the opening moments of the movie. It's real quick, gets right into it after like 5-10 minutes. And it's like, whoa, and it's like, it's absolute carnage, but at the same time, it's like so awesome. How does he get so goddamn big after that? That I will not spoil. I will not say a thing. You will have to go see the movie to find out. Obviously, you already know it's based off of the nuclear weapons that get dropped or get tested, but I won't say where, when. Well, you know the how, it's a nuclear weapon, but I won't say where and when and like how it's presented. And just overall, the way Godzilla is presented, it's just perfect. The director, Takashi Yamazaki, which I'm probably butchering, that man has an eye for this monster. He clearly loves this monster. I mean, he's a Japanese staple, Godzilla. So how can you not? But it's just, he knew what he wanted to make. He knew the character, and he did it perfectly. It's hard to really I don't really want to spoil the movie, so it's hard to really like say much. But I mean, you do kind of get the idea of what the movie kind of like, the overall flow of the movie, because it does kind of follow the same formula as other Godzilla movies, but there is still a whole hell of a lot more to it than that. Ultimately, Godzilla Minus One, it is just the best Godzilla movie, possibly period. Like, Shin Godzilla was amazing. The original Godzilla will always have a special place and just be the absolute classic. But Minus One, I think, has an argument to be, at the very least, in the top 3 greatest Godzilla movies ever made. Godzilla's design takes homage of every past incarnation of Godzilla. He looks a little bit like OG Godzilla. He looks a little bit like the legendary Godzilla from the current US franchise. He looks a little bit like Shin Godzilla. They've taken all of it and they like combined it into one monster, and it just looks so damn good. And speaking of so damn good, the effects are amazing. There are a few moments here and there where like like quick close-ups and like quick movements, you can tell it's really bad CGI, unfortunately. But overall, Godzilla just looks so amazing. I think he rivals our current Godzilla in the U.S. franchise of his overall look and feel. That's not all that takes homage of past Godzilla. The score, 100%, takes hints and pieces of the original scores from all throughout the 70 years and like combines it all into something just crazy and menacing and awesome and ominous, and just, it's so cool. And the human factor, like, you actually care, at least about our two main characters, well, three technically because there's a kid, but you actually care what happens to these people. Like, they're not just throwaway characters. Like, you want to see these characters live. You want to see them survive. You want to see them beat Godzilla. But at the same time, you don't want to see Godzilla die because he's Godzilla, because you want to see him continue. But just everything about this movie, I think, is honestly just masterful. I give Godzilla Minus One an A+.
Did you enjoy the review? Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to get notified when more reviews go live. Feel free to leave a comment to discuss your thoughts on the movie or show, and I will see you next time.